Hi, everyone. It's Tessa.
And Joe.
From the Unveiling Paradise podcast.
Tessa, summer is almost here, and so many of our listeners are about to have their epic destination wedding.
And we are so excited for you guys.
Before the big day, guys, we want you to make sure you listen to these 3 episodes.
Episode 62, Deep Diving Your Wedding Ceremony.
Episode 53, Questions Your Wedding Guests Will Ask.
And episode 31, the final countdown to your wedding day.
And if you're planning your wedding here in Hawaii, hit us up and ask us about our Unveiling Paradise podcast promo.
Happy planning. Oh my God. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
Oh my God, Tessa.
You want to play a game?
Oh, wow. Is this how we're starting the show today?
Yeah, I have a game. I have a really cool game.
All right. I don't know. I don't know if I trust you, but okay. What?
You shouldn't trust me.
All right. What is the game?
Okay. I'm going to rapid fire questions at you. I just need you to answer yes or no as quickly as you can.
Okay. I cannot promise that I'm just going to answer yes or no.
I
These
know
are horrible questions.
You're so long-winded, but just answer yes or no.
Well, what if the questions are horrible?
No, see, you're already asking too many questions.
Or you're going to try to get me in a corner and trap me with it. Okay. All right. I'll do my best.
Okay. At a wedding, what are your thoughts about drinking before the ceremony?
Okay. Who's drinking?
No, it doesn't matter. Yes or no?
Is it the photographer?
Yes.
Okay. No, don't do that.
What about the couple?
Yeah, for sure. Loosen it up a little bit.
What about seeing each other before the ceremony? So for our first look.
I love those. Yes.
Interesting. Wedding cake, yes or no?
No.
Stop.
No. It's just like so outdated, right? It's just so outdated.
Shh. Wedding party dancing into a grand entrance.
No.
Ooh.
So cheesy. It's usually like most like cringy part of the wedding.
Very awkward.
I think, right? I mean, there's sometimes people have some nice.
See how you just keep talking?
All right.
Wedding dress changes. Changing your wedding dress throughout the wedding.
Sure, why not? Go for it.
Nice. Writing personal vows.
Yes, I love those.
Feeding your vendors.
Yes.
How about letting your vendors pee throughout the day?
No. Of course. You have to we're humans. We're humans, people.
Are we? What about parent dances?
Yeah, I love them. I am so excited for when my daughter gets married when she's 70 years old. And I get to share that moment with her.
Interesting. Cool. Well, that was the end of my game.
All right, did I get points?
No.
Did I fail?
You failed.
Did I say any yes or no?
The wedding cake was the one test and you failed, but that's cool.
The wedding cake, come on. And you're a yes for a wedding cake.
I am. It has to be a big wedding cake too.
The weird thing about wedding cakes is they make them like 3 days before. It's like old and spongy and
no, they
gross.
don't.
I mean,
that's just old school. That's old school thinking, Joe.
All right. Well, Tessa, today, this is really funny. I love your questions, but this is actually what we're talking about, the things that we love about weddings. Are we going to agree on anything or?
I'm worried. I don't think we're going to agree on anything.
All right. Let's get started.
Welcome to Unveiling Paradise, your go-to destination wedding podcast. I'm Tessa, wedding planner and owner of Fred and Kate Events.
And I'm Joe, wedding and adventure photographer of Joseph Esser Photography. We are based in Hawaii, one of the biggest, most popular locations for destination weddings.
We want to share our real-life experiences with you, give you insight from a professional's perspective, and still make sure you're having fun in the process.
We're huge believers in the fact that planning a destination wedding can be one of the most amazing experiences, and we want to bring you along.
We're so excited to talk with you about weddings, Hawaii, and everything else under the sun.
So pack your bags and let's get started. All right, today we are talking about things we love about weddings. You love weddings, right?
I do love weddings. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you and I both got into this industry because weddings are just such magical things. They're so much fun, right? They're so much great, like raw emotion and happiness and all these things that, like make for, celebrations most of the time, right? Sometimes.
I think, a lot of the time. I think there's always some sort of drama or whatnot, but it always ends up happy.
And you love the drama, right?
I love the drama. I love to fix drama. I think that's what I love to do. Like, I like jumping in and fixing the drama, and you like to be the drama.
I like to photograph the drama.
That's for another podcast.
So, Tessa, why don't you take it away? What do you love the most about weddings?
Oh, that's hard. I love so many things. I'm going to start with one thing.
All right.
But it isn't necessarily like number one. Can we go there?
Wait a minute. You're confused.
I don't want to.
So you're trying to save.
I'm not committing to this as being my favorite, but it is one of my favorites.
You're saving the favorite for the end.
I don't know. I love them all.
This is a listener hook if I've ever heard one. All right. Okay.
No,
so
I love
this
it
is
all. Okay.
One of your favorites.
So this is one of my favorites, and this is, gosh, I sound like you. It's the overall guest experience.
That sounds super cheesy.
I know.
All right. What do you mean by that?
Myself.
Because I feel like it has to be more exciting than
Yes. Okay. So what I love, there's a couple of things, right? Like surprise locations, for example, right? So it's the overall guest experience. You know your guest, you know what they want, what they're looking for, and creating this experience, right? When you're having a wedding, you're building this event from ground up. So are they, adventurous? Do they like to eat? Are they foodies, right? What is this that you can kind of build and create this amazing experience that guests are going to look at and think, oh my gosh, that's totally them. And
how do you know when you surprise them?
How do I know when I surprise them? Yeah. What do you mean?
The guests or, that experience. How do you know when you're you're on fire with, this guest experience?
Okay, so I did a wedding once and it was really cool where the couple decided to have a wedding. So the bride invited everyone to a quote unquote birthday party.
Wait, what? She didn't even tell them she's getting married?
She didn't tell them they were getting married. So it's kind of funny because I think her brother didn't come. He didn't. But she's like, I don't care. Like, it's a surprise. I'm telling no one. So she ended up having this birthday party that she invited, I think about 50, 60 people to. Everyone got there, with birthday presents.
Oh my gosh.
And she was like, surprise, we're getting married. And
then the brother popped out of the cake.
I know.
Surprise.
No. So it was really kind of cool because it just created this experience for her that they know that she's very silly. She's very, she jokes a lot. She's funny.
Yeah.
And so it just fit her personality. And her groom was he's so accommodating. He's so good to her. He literally, she was emailing from his email as him the whole time, right? Because it was as if he was planning her surprise birthday party.
That is just kind of, I like it, but it's a little bit creepy too.
No, it was so fun. It was so fun. Have you done any surprises before?
Actually, I think of a lot of the surprises that we've done.
We only want one.
But, let me think about this. We had a wedding one time where I can't remember exactly the details, but the bride and groom were somehow like helicopter pilots, or they were some pilots or something like that.
They sound very cool.
Yeah, they're super cool, like things exploding behind them, and it's awesome. But they did something similar. They had a ceremony, and they told everybody that they were getting married. Everybody, it was a destination wedding. They came in from Australia, like maybe 30, 40 people. And they took all the guests. They said, all right, we want you to meet at this bus at this time, and we're gonna shuttle you to the ceremony. So
did they know where the ceremony was going to be?
They had no idea.
Okay.
Right. So it was just get on the bus, and that's all you know. So the bus takes off from Waikiki, goes to the airport, and they're like, okay, why are we at the airport? Are they going to do the wedding at the the airport or whatever?
At the hangar, that would still be cool.
That would be cool.
Right?
Each of the guests get on private helicopters. So they had chartered like 6 or 7 helicopters. And the groom is already at the ceremony on the top.
Oh, I thought the groom was like flying the helicopter.
No, he's waiting for everybody on the top of this mountain. The only way you can get to this location is by helicopter, and he's waiting there.
What?
And
did you know?
Yeah, we did know.
So
we
you
did.
knew.
Yeah, we did know. And so actually, it was fun for me. I got to be flying with the bride in her helicopter, taking pictures and everything as she's, flying over. And it was a surprise for everyone how they were able to orchestrate that. It was amazing. But, that's something for me, like as a photographer, I'll never forget that experience.
That's so cool.
Imagine if you're the guest, and you're talking about, there's Cousin Barry's wedding at the farm. And you're like, it's just like a completely different experience. And that to me, I agree with you. Like those surprises are super fun.
Right. But taking it down a notch, right? Because not everyone's a helicopter pilot and not everybody wants to jump into a helicopter. So do you feel like there are other ways to elevate guest experience without going over the top, planning a surprise wedding or having people flown to the top of a mountain?
Yeah, you don't have, especially if you're afraid of like flying in a helicopter, that's
a nightmare.
Yeah, a horrible experience.
It would be such a nightmare. Yeah. So like what would be other things that could still create that guest experience?
You can totally create that without having to go over the top, chartering helicopters and things like that. I mean, just think of the different things that you see at weddings, right? A dessert bar with like the couple's favorite desserts. I mean, I love chocolate. Like if you could have a chocolate dessert bar, I'm all about it. We see like signature drinks, right, at weddings, where it's like...
You love a signature drink.
I totally
Joe,
do.
what's your favorite signature drink?
Well, I love bourbon drinks, so old fashions. I mean, we have a local bartender who makes these amazing...
The Chiave smoke.
Chiave smoke, so Chiave is a wood that they smoke into this glass, and it's just like, it's so high-end that you wouldn't expect it at a wedding.
Well, it's the drink and the experience,
Yeah.
right? It's that bartending, like, what was that show with a cocktail? Right? I'm dating myself.
With Tom Cruise.
With Tom Cruise.
He doesn't age, so you don't date yourself with that. He doesn't age at all.
I just dated myself. Cut that out. But I think, exactly, you're right? Because signature drinks are a great surprise element. Again, overall guest experience. So for me, like, I'm a foodie and I love food. So having an amazing dessert bar. I've done weddings where it's not just the dessert bar kind of on the side, but instead of a floral centerpiece, we've done like 80 to 100 desserts on each guest table.
And you love like these little snacks after dinner, after dancing,
Yes.
like that. And I think that's your jam. Every time we do weddings together, it's like there's a French fry bar. or
Always French fry bars. Or honestly, what I love is like the hot donut station. So you're out, you're drinking, you're dancing, and all of a sudden you smell that fried dough.
Yeah.
And guests will literally start walking over as the donuts are being made.
Yes.
So you have these amazing hot, fresh, like baby donuts.
Yes, you can't beat that. I mean, and that's something that it's a surprise, right? It's, again, I think it's part of the experience that it's unexpected. Right?
Yes, exactly. So it doesn't have to be flying everyone to a destination or having a whole surprise wedding. It's a lot of these little things that can still create a really amazing guest experience.
I mean, and sometimes it's just as simple as just being out in an amazing location under the stars. You're dancing and music's playing, and it's just that magic that happens. That maybe is something that you can't control, but I think those are the moments when everybody is just like free and partying. And
I think that's one of the amazing things about destination weddings is you're already at this amazing venue and or location, right? An island or somewhere snowy or whatever, and your guests are basically in like a whole new world right now.
Right.
Like Aladdin. Right. Like Aladdin.
All right, Tessa, you're probably going to think this is like the total nerdiest answer you could come up with. But this is actually something that I think we should talk about, and it's something that I actually love about weddings. I love a good toast or a good speech.
That is super nerdy.
Well,
go on.
It's my answer, so.
Yep.
I mean, I think back at my own wedding, those moments, those things that happened. And I remember like my brother's speech is something that still people are talking about. And he's just like a super funny guy. Like he's always funny. So it was like.
So he's the opposite of you. Is that what you're saying?
No, we are twinsies. We're total twinsies. When someone takes the time to write a speech and deliver it to everyone and kind of like talk about that person or the couple or, sort of share with the audience a little bit about, that couple. I always think that that's like, for me, is like a personal highlight if it's done right.
And I think that's the thing, right? If it's done right. Because obviously we've both been to a ton of weddings and I've seen some really good ones, but also just some crash and burns. Like they're awful, And so
Yes.
I think it's just like, I've been to weddings where the best man was talking about him and the groom going to jail and having to get bailed out. And like his mom didn't know that.
Yes.
I could see the mom's face was shocked, right? And so when you try to impromptu and wing it or speak from your heart, things go wrong,
Don't speak from your heart. Whenever we hear it, when it starts with, I didn't really prepare for this,
So
but I'm going to speak from the heart.
Just stop. Just
You're
cut
like,
audio.
don't.
Just stop.
Or I only found out about this speech 3 minutes ago.
Right.
Just don't do it then.
Right. Or I Googled some speech ideas or, just no, don't. Also, don't read from your phone.
Yeah, that's true. Because it looks like you're totally disengaged from
Or you're like texting your boyfriend. Like, I'm so bored being, whatever. I don't know. Not here to judge, but I am.
What's a good length for a speech, would you say?
I mean, honestly, 2 to 3 minutes max. What do you, coming from the video standpoint, like, what do you think?
Yeah, so when we do video, it's actually one of those parts where we get some really great sound bites where it's, kind of talking about the couple. So yeah, I think 2-3 minutes, as long as it's, you can say something in 5 minutes as long as it's engaging, if it's a great story.
Right.
But, sometimes it can be just short and sweet, a minute or two. But it has to be, you're right, like planned out, well thought out, and don't Google your speech.
Don't Google it. Don't.
Do you see that a lot?
I do. And in fact, so I've seen people Google their speeches so they have kind of that similar intro or outro or whatnot, but I've also seen people Google their personal vows.
Oh, that's horrible.
And literally same vows that are written by themselves. It's crazy.
Have you ever had a couple that have had the same vows that they both cheated on Google and found?
Yes. Well, no. So I think what's awkward is I did a wedding, and I'm not joking, but I had a bride write her own vows. And then another bride was writing her vows, supposedly. I think she Googled it, saw a video of this other bride's personal vows and used those.
Oh, no.
So she basically used someone else's personal. It was crazy.
That's horrible. And that happens. And that happens a lot. Well,
it's just you're nervous. I get it.
And I think the funny thing that I see a lot, we do a lot of weddings, so we get to see when people are plagiarizing and all this. But I see people recycling the same jokes. Right?
Yes, always the joke. I don't like a lot of the cheesy jokes. I get it's probably because I've heard them so often, but just stop.
If it's a new cheesy joke, I'm all about it. But if I've heard it 5 times.
Get it approved for us first. So we have to hear it first. We have to laugh. Then you can use it.
And if you've been to more than a few weddings, you may hear the same joke. And that's just like such a bummer when you're
It is. And I feel like, Joe, you're the king of cheesy jokes. So
I'll write them for you then. I'll write some fresh content.
Run it past Joe first if you're going to do it.
Done. All right. I'm going to start a little side gig.
Yes.
Cheesy Jokes by Joseph
Dad
Esser.
Jokes. Okay, so let me just jump in and kind of talk about something else that I really like about weddings.
Is this your favorite?
No.
Okay, maybe. This isn't okay.
No, maybe.
All right.
No.
You're gonna just kill us with all the teasers.
Yeah. Let's keep you on your toes.
Okay, but what do you got?
One thing that I really like about weddings is that one moment right before the couple walks into the reception. So let me explain.
Wait, so it's before they walk into the reception. Are the guests in there already?
So the guests are in, and this is basically the couple seconds or minutes before the grand entrance.
Okay.
So everyone's in, everyone's seated, and this couple is just kind of standing there, and I'm often creeping with them, kind of prepping them on what to do.
Are you their hype squad?
I'm super hype, and I'm super creepy. So it's kind of, it's all together.
I told you, you're the creepy one.
I am, but funny. Can I be both? So basically, right, they're there, and I'm basically kind of going through, here's the next things that are going to happen. You're going to walk in, first dance, pass your
time out. This is your favorite.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, but this is why. Because first, I get to spend quality time with them by myself.
All right.
Which is a win. But here's the thing. The doors open. They hear the music. They're getting hyped. And they just kind of look around and realize that all these people are here for them. It's that instant moment that they're like, holy crap, everyone's here for us. And they're stoked. They always kind of give each other a look and a smile, and they squeeze their hands or a quick kiss. It's just the realization that it's here. They're already married at this point.
Yeah.
They're so excited. It's that instant, now that relaxation, it's time to party.
Actually, that's
you
super
can't take
awesome.
My answer.
It's
stop.
awesome. It's awesome.
I knew
but
it.
I think, wait, hold on. I'll give you why it also sucks. Right? But it's true. When you get to the reception, all your stress and your worries and stuff, you've already got married.
Unless you have a choreographed dance.
True. But you've gone through a lot of the things that typically stress out the couple.
Right.
Hair and makeup, is it going to look great? Is my groom going to be crying? Am I going to be crying if I'm the groom? And all those things. And at that point, you've already it's party time. It's go time, right? I think that's awesome. But do you think that could be also you have this whole, 100 or 200 or 300 people that are going to be looking at you, right?
Well,
and staring at you. Is that stressful
but listen,
for
no,
them?
because I feel because I'm already creeping on them, then everything else feels less uncomfortable. I make it easier. But no, I get what you're saying, but we've done so many grand entrances and so many couples, it's just that quick moment to themselves. So I'm not talking about the anxiety of having to walk into a group, but that moment of of being together and just having that moment to realize that everything is going to be amazing from this point forward.
You know what's actually really funny now that you say that too is I feel like weddings post-COVID are even more exciting, right? They're more when a couple's had 2 or 3 different cancellations or postponements.
Or 4.
Or 4, right?
So many.
And then they're there and their party is actually going to happen. And it's like, it's go time. Like, I feel like it's just there's no like boring wedding anymore.
Right.
You know?
And I feel like a lot of it is that, oh my God, we're finally here. It's taken us 2 years or 3 years, or it's these crazy long engagements. And it's that we made it, like we're ready to party. And I think the energy is so much higher. Like, it's not just them, but their guests, their families. Everyone's been quarantining home. They've been sick. They've been unwell. And so to get together and celebrate is just, it's crazy. Everyone, like, they're their own hype squad. They don't even need me.
You know what's actually kind of funny now that you're saying that too is I feel like what do you think of this? Like, I feel like sometimes with our same-sex couples, it's even more of like this just exceptional, exciting, explosive moment.
Right.
Because, all the other obstacles that were, kind of standing in place for them to actually be able to come to this point where they can have a same-sex wedding.
I love them. I love same-sex weddings because I feel, and I don't know if this is me just getting cheesy, but I love that both of their families have come together and they're there for love. They're there for each other. This is not something that 20 years ago would have been as easy to do, but their families are there, their friends are there. Everyone is there to celebrate and honor a marriage, right? And I love that so much.
All right, Tessa, so have you told me, like, what is your favorite, the thing that you've been holding out on us? Like, what? I
didn't tell you.
Are you going to share before this
no,
podcast ends? Or
it's
what?
A secret.
Okay. All right. So that's the show, guys.
No,
all
you want to know.
Tell us, share. What do you got?
Yeah. So honestly, I think one of the things that really, and again, right, know your audience, right? It depends. But if you're looking for a party and having a good time, honestly, the biggest thing for everyone is an open bar.
So you love an open bar.
I love an open bar.
What if it gets rowdy, though?
I love rowdiness. It's my job to break up the rowdiness. I love that.
All right. So open bars, is this something that you try to do at every wedding, or?
It obviously, it depends on the budget, right? I know not everyone can afford an open bar, but if you can, and truly an open bar, and I always tell people, an open bar is exactly what it is. So that is beer, wine, champagne, hards, signature drinks, everything.
Just go for it.
Just go for it. Yeah. Shots, do it.
Yeah.
That's a true open bar.
Can I add on to this a little bit?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
I think I would also like to say, besides an open bar, the thing I love about weddings the most is the party, right? So we talked about like that big grand entrance, but it's like that party when the party comes to life, like some things.
Like the dancing?
Yeah, like when everybody is there on the dance floor and it's just going crazy. Like,
do you do the electric slide? Is that party?
Okay, so know your audience, right? So some people will be all about the electric slide and some will be that please do not, they'll tell the DJ, please do not play the electric slide.
There is such a thing as the do not playlist. So couples will send the DJ, like, these are the top 3 songs that you cannot play. And the electric slide is on there 50% of the time.
That's awesome. Is there any other songs that we should know that are on that?
I mean, a lot of songs with swearing, so bummer. But there's also, it's all of those, like the Macarena, electric slide, any of those like planned staged dances tends to be on the do not playlist.
I've seen your Macarena and it's pretty awesome.
It is awesome. Thank you.
All right, so tell me, let's get back to the open bar thing. I love open bars, but tell me what makes it so epic about it, though.
I think the fun thing about the open bar is it just lets people have a good time, right? And obviously drink responsibly. Just feel like I have to put that disclaimer in there.
That sounds like...
But it really, like I've had couples where their guests do shots all night long, and that's fine, because for me, and here's the thing, like I'm not a drinker in general, but when I do, I go hard, and I like shots because, listen, hear me out, it's social. You're not taking a shot by yourself, right?
That's true.
It's like really 10 people, and a lot of times it's all of your friends from college or all of your friends from work, and it's shots over and over with these people. And for me, it brings them together. So a lot of times at weddings, and I'm sure you've seen it, you'll see people in a corner and all of a sudden they're like all gathered. You're like, okay, they're either doing shots or something that we don't want to see.
So it's about bonding for you, not getting drunk.
It is. It's about the bonding. And obviously, you know, like the getting drunk is something that at a wedding people do, and that's cool. But it is, right? Versus like sipping a glass of wine in the corner, like taking shots, having those really fancy signature cocktail drinks that Joe likes. You know what I mean? Those are all really cool and fun that you may not have every day. But at a wedding, why wouldn't you?
And I do like my signature cocktails because I'm super bougie.
With the little cherry on top. You're very cute like that.
And I keep my pinky up, the whole thing. I'm going to rapid fire a question to you.
Oh, my God, okay.
Since we're talking about open bars, the champagne tower, right? So it's these champagne glasses that are all stacked up, and then I don't know how it works, but they pour bottles of champagne, and it just makes this little like waterfall thing.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
And you can only answer yes.
No. It depends, maybe.
What is that all about? I don't really understand it.
It's just a visual, right? It's a fancy thing to do for photos, but honestly, outdoor, it stresses me out. If it's windy, if the ground's not level, it can fall.
Totally. And then do you actually drink the champagne, or is it just for show?
Well, I mean, you can. Why wouldn't you?
Well, I feel like after it sits out for a little bit, it's
you drink it right after you pour it. It's not going to sit. I mean, obviously, we let photographers get pictures and whatnot, but then drink it.
And then what do people just grab one, and then you hope it's like kind of like
No,
Jenga?
then you just hand it out, like top down. Don't grab from the bottom.
No Jenga.
No Jenga. I love champagne, though, so I'm all for champagne towers.
Tables are turned again. All right. Drinking before the ceremony. Yes or no?
For vendors or for the couple?
That's the trick question. For vendors,
no.
Couples?
No.
No, all right.
You know, I just be present. Be present for your wedding. Okay, here's the thing. A little bit of drinking, like a shot just to kind of calm the nerves, but like don't get trashed before your wedding. Like know what you're getting into.
Right, and wait till you can get out on the dance floor and do that group shot, that bonding moment.
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Okay, that was a total jumbled mess of... did we get any... Was it top 5, top 6? All right.
Doesn't matter.
All right.
All of our favorites.
All of our favorites. Okay, so let's try to recap our conversation.
Good luck. That's on you.
All right, then you go first.
Okay, fine. I will. I remember what we talked about. I think the top thing that we talked about, not my favorite yet, was the guest experience. So whether that be helicopters on the mountaintop or amazing dessert bar or Joe's signature cocktail drinks, something for the guest experience is cool.
And doing something that's unique, that's not cookie cutter.
Well, and that's to you, right? That's specific to who you are as a couple.
Right. Okay, and I talked a little bit about a good speech, a good toast, right? Great vows. Don't Google it.
Very nerdy.
But as nerdy as it is, super important.
You're right.
Because this is something that can be, it can derail an entire wedding, especially if you've heard jokes before or somebody.
Yeah, don't duplicate the jokes. Don't duplicate your vows. Like, get creative.
Right. Write your own vows. Write it from the heart. Don't read somebody else's vows. It's not your vows anymore.
Right. And, always have it run through Joseph.
The jokes. You can run the jokes by me.
The jokes, not the speech.
Joe Esser. What did I call it?
Dad jokes.
Joe Esser Dad Joke. I can do this. Joe Esser Dad Club Joke book coming out 2022.
.com.
.com. All right.
I think, the other one that I liked was obviously that one moment right before the couple walks into their reception, right? The grand entrance. That realization that everyone here is for them.
For most people, as long as you're not afraid of big crowds or
not super drunk. If you're drunk too soon, you're going to miss that moment. And then that's the moment with me, and that's important.
We can't forget to talk about the party, right? The celebration.
The post-COVID party.
The post-COVID party. We're here. We're partying. This is the time that everybody gets to actually be together and, have the time of their life.
And I feel like your guests are your hype squad now. Everyone is so excited to be out and be free and doing what they want. Like, you have a built-in hype squad. It's amazing.
And then Tessa's favorite, the one that she's been holding back on us. Go for it. You can announce this one.
It's the open bar.
Yes.
I love the open bar. I love shots. I sound like an alcoholic. I promise I'm not. I barely drink. But the shots. I love shots.
What's your shot for everybody to know?
I mean...
Is it a kamikaze or a buttery nipple? Or what are those weird...
I know. I mean, it used to be tequila. It's not anymore. Just Sex on the beach. No.
Always the weirdest names for the tastiest.
We used to just drink cheap vodka, like in our car.
Okay, now you're totally sounding like an alcoholic.
I know. Used to. Now clearly we can't.
Yes. All right, let's turn to the part of the show where we answer your questions. So, questions from our listeners. What do we got today, Tessa?
So our question today comes from Joanna from the Philippines. And I'm super excited about this one because I feel like this is a hot topic.
This seems like actually a nightmare of a question. So okay. I don't even know how I'm going to answer.
So she asks, what's your personal opinion about weddings that also have a surprise proposal for one of your guests or bridal party?
So a surprise proposal.
Surprise. So what I'm gathering is someone decides to propose in the middle of your wedding.
At your wedding, someone is going to steal your big moment.
I guess you already kind of answered this.
I'm a hard no on this. I do not. I think this has happened.
Have you seen it before?
This has happened twice to me before.
Twice.
Tell
me.
One. It was one of the groomsmen was doing his speech, and it was one of those off the cuff, speak from the heart, and he ends up proposing to his girlfriend who's sitting like watching this horrible.
Did he have a ring? Was it planned?
No, he didn't have a ring or anything.
So
he was just in the moment.
Went off the cuff.
It went off the cuff. And no. I don't think she said yes.
Can you go back and find that? Listeners want to know.
That is not how you propose to someone.
No,
at someone else's wedding. What do you think?
Okay, so if it's like that, if it's an off the cuff, you have no ring, it wasn't pre-planned, the couple didn't know, then 100% no. I think that's an awful idea. But I have seen proposals where, it's the best friend or the sister of the bride, and they've been in a long-term relationship. The fiance or the soon-to-be fiance, I guess, has coordinated with the couple and they're on board and they're super stoked. Then yes, then I think, it becomes part of this wedding and they want to share in the love and it's planned and approved. As long as the couple knows, then yes, I think they're super fun to do, but not off the cuff.
Do you think the bride and groom are trying to just trick that, brother or sister to get married and they're like...
Yeah, well, so I've seen weddings where they've literally handed the bouquet to the sister as here's a hint, you're next.
It's your turn.
It's your turn. Do it.
Time to do this already.
Yeah. Or I've had a mother that got married and she had a daughter and she was like, she needs to get married. I'm going to make it known at my wedding. So I say yes. Seems
a little manipulative, but okay, go for it. It's time. Yes. It's time for your brother to get married. And we all know this.
Yes, do it.
Or whoever it is. All right, perfect. Well, thank you so much for your question. That was an interesting one.
That was a hard one.
Yeah, it was very hard.
That was a hard one.
But it actually does happen. So, I mean,
Good question. Hard answers.
Yes. All right.
And that's it for this week's episode.
This was so much fun. I really enjoyed this one. The things that we love. All right.
I liked it. If anyone has questions for us, send it to us. Email, Instagram, call Joe, whatever.
Yeah, send us your best jokes too.
Send the dad jokes to us. Send me some shots. Just kidding.
And all those great stories. We love the stories. I mean, this is what really, makes our show a lot of fun.
Yep.
All right, until next time.
We'll meet you back here.
Cheers. Thanks for listening to another episode of Unveiling Paradise.
If you enjoy our show, please follow us and rate us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It would really mean a lot.
And don't forget to also get on our mailing list and follow us on Instagram. Just do it already.
Until next time, this is Tessa.
And this is Joe.
And don't forget, your happily ever after
is just a plane ride away.